Reliance Capital is something that we are focusing on today. About 0.38% higher. Reliance Capital had come out with its earnings. We earlier spoke to Sam Ghosh, ED and Group CEO at Reliance Capital. And when we asked Mr. Ghosh about the life insurance growth in particular, which moderated in the first quarter and in the second quarter as well, why we saw such modest growth. And this is what he told us.
Yes, if you look at our gross, our new business premium as well as our total premium has grown by 2% and 5% marginally, and profits are at about 15 crores. Now, the primary focus is that in life insurance, we've been focusing on non-par and bit of par and very little on ULIPs. Last year, we had about 24%, 25% ULIP business. This year, we brought that down to 13%. What consequence of that is that our new business margins improved from last year it was 27.7%, and now we are close to 30% new business margin. So it's a conscious effort that we should be focusing more and more on the non-participating as well as a bit on the participating business. So that and unless we have a bank insurance partner, that's obviously with the new corporate agency guideline that's come out, and that is effective from 1st April 2016. That's before that we would like to tie up with some banks, and through banks we'd like to sell unit-linked products.
Right. Mr. Ghosh, last time when we spoke to you, you indicated that you're awaiting IRDA guidelines on banks tie-up. How is that really going to be a game changer going forward?
Yes, so as you know, the corporate agency guidelines were announced by IRDA in this quarter. The primary change is that a bank can tie up with up to 3 insurers, and obviously it's effective from 1st April 2016. So therefore, the opportunity is now there for us to go and talk to as many both private sector and public sector banks and try and bring in tie-ups so that we can start working with them from 1st April 2016. The advantage for us is that we don't have a bank partner while others do have bank partners. So for us, obviously, there's significant opportunity even if we get a few banks to tie up with us.
Right.
See, I think if you look at today for life insurance, the focus has been most private players either have banks as partners, they have agents as partners, or they have a direct marketing team. And now people have started focusing on the e-commerce space. But on the e-commerce space, you'll find that mainly the products being sold are either a term policy or it's a savings type product. Okay, so therefore for us also the focus is that how do we start growing that, and we also have an e-term plan which is available online. Obviously, we'd like to get more and more acceptance of that in the market.
So how does it really work, moving away from third-party agents to agency and own workforce for distributing specific products?
Yes, see, today agency contributes only 60% of our total business. Another 15 to 20% comes from our direct sales team, which is an in-house team, which we have followed Nippon Life's tradition method of selling, which is having employed sales team. Another 15% or so is from third-party distributors and group business, etc. So therefore, obviously, this has started paying quite good dividends, but we'd obviously like to expand this much further.
And what was the AUM growth that you saw in the second quarter? Was it led by home loans as well?
Yeah. So if you look at in terms of total AUM in the commercial finance division, it was about 21,000 crores, up nearly 12%. However, if you segment it out, on the home loan side, we have a housing finance company. In that HFC, AUMs at about 6,500 crores, up 65%. And again, our focus there also is that we should focus in the housing finance company, we should be focusing on the mortgage side, a bit of construction finance, a small bit of LAP, whilst on the commercial finance side, our focus is on the SME financing. So the SME financing, obviously, we want to grow. The other segments, CVs, commercial vehicles, construction equipment, etc., and infra, we've kept a lower focus on those areas.
Can you also talk to us about the asset quality in the second quarter?
No, see, now gross NPA with that purchase book, which was about 0.4%, but today it's 2.6% with and if you look at in the past also, we've hovered around 2.3 to 2.6. So with this purchase book of loans, which had a slightly higher NPA, but overall I think that today 2.6, and I know that going forward we'll again bring it back to about 2.4%, which should again be reasonable for a company of our size. And remember, we focus on 90 days. We recognize NPAs at 90 days, not 120 days as is being allowed, or 150 days as some of the companies are still at.
And what about net interest margin? Any impact out there considering the cost of funds has been coming down?
Yes, so NIMs have gone up to 5.8% compared to 5.6%. And obviously cost of funds have come down, so that has been the primary contributor towards the higher NIMs. Obviously, we are also from 1st November passing on the benefits to the customers. We are going for 25 bips cut, so that should help customers.
What about the asset reconstruction business? What's the path going forward as far as that is concerned?
Yes, if you look at on the asset reconstruction side, our focus is on SME and retail, which has easier resolution time. Within 1 or 2 years, you can resolve them, as well as this constant cash flow. So we're not been focusing on the corporate loans. Corporate loans are the big ticket loans, which some of the other ARCs are focusing on. And we have a recovery mechanism also, because we have a big team of recovery people. So being a specialist in those two areas, obviously we look to buy pools of assets from banks, and we've been trying to resolve those.
And if we talk about the performance of the AUM business in the second quarter, can you tell us if the momentum in equity, if that really continued in the outlook going forward?
Yes, on the asset management business, obviously our business continues doing very well. AUMs have grown at a significant rate, nearly 25% growth in AUMs to 1,52,000 crores. We still remain the largest asset manager. And also in terms of profitability, if you look at it, in terms of profitability this quarter, we gained 122 crores profit, up over 7 to 8%. Profit will always is a lag effect, because if equity AUMs are growing significantly, then there's an acquisition cost. But so in the future, again, you'll see the profits going at about 15-20% growth rate. And again, our focus here is smaller towns, because below the top 15 cities, we're one of the largest players. Again, a very large retail franchise, and focuses on equity as well as retail debt. In terms of transactions, obviously, the Nippon Life is going from 35% to 49% in the asset management business. We have awaiting regulatory approval on that. And similarly, Reliance Asset Management also bought a Goldman Sachs asset management business. There also, we are awaiting regulatory approvals. Both the transactions will be completed before the end of this financial year.
All right, so that was the management of Reliance Capital talking to us about their second quarter earnings and, of course, the growth outlook going forward.